To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kira's show here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya, Jiro, Bakugo, and Ochako, surprisingly, they have been heading for Atlantis. Along with that, Midoriya also did plan to go to Themyscira, the home of the Amazons. He wants to talk with and try and convince them to move their continents and their cities onto the new world, since the Earth is going to die. Now, as for who is watching Bakugo and Ochako's kid, someone did ask that question. I want to say Ochako at least called Mitsuki and Baku's dad, or her own parents, explain the situation without sounding crazy. Just explaining that her and Bakugo need to take care of some things, and that she would like them to watch their grandchild. Being able to drop them off, at least on the way. Now, let us also continue. Midoriya, he didn't really pay any mind to that. Okay, Ochako has a kid. That's a thing. Ignoring the fact that Bakugo was at the house. He could put two and two together, but he kinda just doesn't really care right now. He's having more trouble trying to find a diplomatic way to solve things. Especially since he murdered the king of Atlantis and the princess of Themyscira. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun conversation. Especially since he can't really lie about it. Now, Midoriya and everyone, they are flying over the ocean. Midoriya stopping everyone, as they're all just floating overhead. Not really sure what they're doing. Bakugo asking the question. Midoriya just using and looking down and using X-ray vision. Squinting and moving his eyes a certain way. As he is looking on the ocean floor, and listening in. As he does look for Atlantis. It's in this general area, and within a mile. Midoriya finally finding the city. After about 30 seconds. He still does need to work on this a bit more. In fact, data that Superboy gave him at least helped him a little bit. The way he uses his infrared vision, and at least tries to explain heat vision. That one was a bit trickier. Now, Midoriya would just put up his hand, and all of them would get into a bubble, and begin to go to the bottom of the ocean. Ochako is a bit surprised, and in wonderment, in awe, at what she's seeing. And, well, Bakugo, Deku, and Jiro, they're kind of used to seeing things they wouldn't believe. As they get closer and closer to Atlantis. And they're at the bottom. Now, as soon as they do get out there though, they would be directly in the center of the city. Guards and civilians immediately being on them, pointing weaponry at them and telling them that they are trespassing in the city of Atlantis, and that they must speak their word. Now, Midoriya would simply just do one thing. He would put up a construct on his head, and then make his way, phasing through the bubble. That's at least what it looks like. Midoriya create a suit around him, that way he can just push his way out of the bubble, without breaking the air inside of it, exposing it to the water. Midoriya just floating there, as he announces that he would like to see their queen, and speak with her. They traveled quite the distance. In fact, he believes that she will want to hear him out. His name is Izuku, the guard immediately getting on the defensive. Bringing up the trident is saying that he is the one who murdered their king, isn't he? That name. It is something every Atlantean knows. In fact, we've been monitoring you ever since you unmasked, isn't that right? You're... Yes, I am. Now, listen to me. What I'm going to say is very important. I also suggest you don't try to, as the guard goes to throw his trident directly into Midoriya's chest. Midoriya not even moving, as the trident basically just folds in upon itself. Have you guys ever seen what happens whenever someone shot a bullet at Superman and it basically just flattens out and falls to the ground? That's basically what the trident did. It got bent to shit. The guard just looking down at his weapon. Midoriya doing the same as he tells him that he does want to speak to their queen. The guard at least a bit more intimidated, as they would at least make their way there under heavy military escorts. Now, Midoriya is floating directly in the palace. Queen Mara is looking at him, and she does at least want to know why a surface dweller is here. Along with that, exactly what does he want? He murdered her husband. Deku just bring up his hands, saying that yes, he did. But I can explain that, along with my offer. Her wanting to hear this. This man is very, very confident in just walking in here, let alone finding their city. She knew that they should have kept it hidden from more mortals, let alone surface dwellers. Midoriya just saying that he understands what's going to happen. In fact, he saw how things were out there. He could hear it and see it, along with feel it. Your city is dying, isn't it, Queen? Midoriya just walking forwards. As soon as he takes a step, though, Atlanteans all draw their weapons and begin to point them at Midoriya. Midoriya just taking a step backwards, saying that he is aware of what's happening, and she is aware of it too. You do know that I am evacuating cities, taking them off the world, somewhere where they can survive. In fact, I believe that Atlantis might be one of the better cities that we save. The Queen staring at him and asking him how he knows that they want to be saved. That he's not just going to backstab them. Midoriya just explaining. He has killed far too many people in his lifetime. In fact, the amount of people I've unwillingly murdered is trillions. Well, the ones that were accidents, they still count. I won't lie. I've been manipulated and brainwashed twice already. I got revenge on both the men who did it to me. So, I'm just trying to save lives. Midoriya using his hearing, as he does hear 2 heartbeats from the Queen. Him then just looking directly at her, and saying that she would know a thing or two about life, wouldn't she? In fact, I do believe that whenever you get to the new city, you might be able to spawn a son or a child. something in order to honor your husband. Or you may need to find a new king first. Him just bringing up his hand saying that that is not an offer that he will be the king. He is already in a very happy relationship. The queen staring directly at him, getting off the throne and walking forwards, directly up to his face, telling him that he has no right to come here and talk like that. Midoriya just saying that he wasn't, whispering that he knows that she is pregnant, and that she wants to protect that child, doesn't she? Her staring at him and then just saying, fine. But first you must go through our finest champion. A man coming out of the, door, close by. He is big and burly, the queen stating that this is one of their finest champions. In fact, he has fought and earned that title. You must fight and kill him. Or, well, since you don't want to murder anymore, fight him. If you can take him down, then we will accept your offer. Or, we'll at least consider it. Then you will have our trust. It will at least give you some wiggle room to negotiate. Midori just looking at the man. He himself walking forwards, saying that if he believes that he can just murder the king and get away with it, then that will not stand. Charging at Midori and swimming at him, smashing directly into him and trying to at least tackle him to the ground. Do anything. Midoriya simply just pulling back his left hand, and then smashing the man across the face with it. The man being sent flying away from Midoriya, smashing into a pillar, and then just floating there. Midoriya just looking at him, listening in and saying that he is still alive, but he is out cold. The queen just staring at this man, realizing that he is not someone to be messed with. Fine, we will accept your offer. I will prepare my people, and then we will at least try and negotiate. A lot of them may be unwilling, especially because this ecosystem might change. Midori just understanding. Them all making their way to the surface. Bakugo is in shock, wanting an explanation about that. Midoriya simply not giving it to him, just saying that he can explain it all later. As they head to Themyscira. Now, as they are floating over the island, Midoriya would stop Bakugo, telling him that they can't go down there. Him just saying that what's the point of this entire mission then? Midoriya turning to Jiro, saying that she needs to ask permission for them to step foot on the island. This is a diplomatic mission, and if two men step foot on the island and, her just saying she understands. Besides, things are going to be okay. And she actually does fly closer to him, saying that she will make sure that she can try and get on the Amazon side. Then again, this is all a bit, nerve-wracking. She's always wanted to be just like Wonder Woman. And, this is like a dream come true. Stepping foot on the island, getting my quirk back, and, just being here. I'm actually surprised. Joe hesitating for a second to say what she was about to say. Midoriya then giving her a kiss, and pulling her close, saying that she doesn't have to say it. In fact, he knows how she feels. Him just telling her to be careful. And if he sees anything go wrong down there, then he is going to be there, within the blink of an eye. It does not matter if he has to fight every Amazon on that island. He will make sure she is safe. Bakugo and Uraka just watching that, as the two begin to glow with their passion. Uraka actually turning, well, orange, towards greed. Her just looking down at her rank, and seeing that. Her herself beginning to act out a little bit, before Midoriya does at least turn, blasting her with willpower, and changing her emotion to green. Her very confused at what just happened. Bakugo trying to get an explanation from Midoriya. Midoriya just saying that he can explain while they're down there. But does he have anything to say to her? Bakugo just saying to be careful. And, well, as he would just say their baby's name, saying that they're going to need to be there when they're growing up. They need, well, he needs both of his parents. And he just came back, too. She can't be leaving anytime soon. Her actually turning, well, pink. Saying, yeah, okay. As the two float down towards the island, making their way down. Midoriya just keeping his eyes on them, as Bakugo and him do just float there, with a very awkward silence, as Midoriya would finally raise the question. So, you and that girl, Uraka or Ochako? Yeah, whatever. Well, funny thing. I think I saw her during the entrance exam, back towards UA. Really? Yeah, actually, I don't think she recognizes me. Well, recognizes me. Then again, that's not what I was gonna bring up about her. That's more or less the icebreaker. You and her have a kid? Yeah, it's, yeah, it's kinda surprising to me. Well, I mean, shit, man. It's all a bit weird, though. Never thought we'd be here, right? What? Floating above a island of beautiful women while the world's about to end? Yeah. Not really how I thought I'd be spending this year. Let alone having this conversation with you. Yeah, well, you do gotta remember though. It's all amazing though. 6 years ago today, everything changed. Well, close to 6 years. Almost 7, actually. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Now, do you have eyes on them? Because I can't see a thing from up here. Yeah, I can see them. Well, how can you see them? Let alone, how did you do that to the Atlantean back there? That kind of strength, he's only ever seen a few people use. And he's guessing it wasn't. I'll explain that in a minute. Listen, from what I can tell, everything's going fine. Their conversations are at least normal. And the Amazons have said yes, just being able to come down there. You can hear them and see them. Long story short, as Midoriya begins to fly down, saying that he has the powers of Superman. And it's all because of one simple thing. Going to the fortress and trying to explore and find a way to save the Earth. A robot exploding in his face and giving him everything Superman absorbed from the sun. If he didn't take it, one of the polar ice caps would have melted and flood part of the US and a few other countries, drowning a lot of people. Does that explain it, Bakugo? Yeah. so it turned you Kryptonian. Basically, yeah. As the two fly down, and Midoriya and Bakugo would begin to get questions. Now, I believe that I can leave that off of here, because, well, if I go further into detail and what's going to happen next, then things are going to be getting a bit more longer. So I believe splitting it into a two-parter will be easier on me. So I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.